Have you ever wondered how past policies shaped the very streets and neighborhoods we see today, especially from a time like the 1950s? Segregation had profound and widespread economic impacts on communities across America in the 1950s, creating deeply uneven playing fields for both African American and white residents. The core mechanism behind these impacts was the systemic denial of opportunity and resources to African American communities, often reinforced by law and custom. This practice, known as Jim Crow segregation in the South and de facto segregation in the North, meant that everything from housing and education to jobs and business investment was separated and unequal. This unequal access directly impacted wealth creation, community development, and long-term economic stability for generations. For African American communities, segregation meant restricted access to better-paying jobs and often relegated residents to lower-wage positions, regardless of their skills or qualifications. Businesses in these communities also faced significant hurdles to growth due to limited access to capital and a smaller consumer base, largely confined by residential segregation. This created a cycle where wealth accumulation was severely hampered, reducing home ownership rates and limiting the ability to pass assets to the next generation. On the flip side, many white communities often benefited from these discriminatory practices, gaining access to better schools, better-funded public services, and preferential housing opportunities often bolstered by government-backed home loans. This created a dual economy where one group was systematically advantaged while the other was systematically disadvantaged, impacting everything from property values to job markets. This was sometimes called a zero-sum game, meaning one group gained at the expense of another. An important insight is understanding the concept of redlining, a practice by banks and real estate companies that literally drew red lines on maps around areas deemed risky for investment, which were almost always African American neighborhoods. This denied mortgages, insurance, and other financial services, stifling economic growth and contributing to the decline of property values in these areas. This practice essentially starved communities of the capital needed for development and repair. Understanding these economic impacts helps us see that the challenges faced by many communities today are not accidental. They are the direct result of historical policies and practices like segregation that limited opportunities and channeled resources unevenly, shaping the economic landscape and creating disparities that have echoed through the decades.